Hello, everyone. My name's Jeanette Stevens. I am the administrator of Marcus Rosner Fans, a place for all things Marcus. And I'm so excited to welcome him for a chat today. Welcome, Marcus. How are you?
I'm so happy to be here, Jeanette, and thank you for everything you do for supporting my career. And you're so much better than me at Instagram, and I appreciate you doing all this.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and the page is slowly growing. I've noticed, some Sullivan's people have found their way to the page, so that's been a lot of fun to see it grow. So hopefully get to know
Yeah.
you more too. So. Yeah. So, hey, anything new in your life? Or should I say anyone new? We've been following your exciting life changes.
Yeah, 5 months
Changes.
into being a dad here.
Yeah.
It's been a whirlwind. Yeah, I had my first Father's Day, which
Oh,
apparently becomes, your favorite day, even more so than your own birthday once you have a kid. Um, yeah, I'm loving it. We're kind of thriving, Allie and I,
yeah.
and yeah,
Uh,
we've taken to it really well.
that's so cool. We're loving your Lion King posts. You're
Yeah.
holding him up every. It's like, where is he now?
Yeah, that
Okay.
idea. I don't know. We were in Ottawa like a month after he was born,
Mm.
and we were in front of the Parliament building, and I was like, "Oh, this would be funny if we did this." And then it just kind of became a thing, and we've been a lot of places since he was born, like 5 months ago. So been a
Yeah,
lot of opportunities.
you've been traveling a ton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then I wanted to mention, I don't know if you remember at the Hallmark Christmas experience. So 2 years ago, I think it was, during one of the panels, you talked about how you had had a conversation with Chris Palaha about fatherhood. Do you remember this conversation? I'm
I
curious what
remember
kind of,
very well. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
very well. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, it was in a time when I think we were just on the final stages of circling around to the idea that we were going to pull the trigger and try for a child. And I was telling Chris that not having my own biological father present in my life at a young age made me very nervous
Mhm.
about knowing how to do it, especially between the ages of like 1 and 10 years old, that first decade when things are forming and I didn't know. I was scared I wasn't going to be good at it, and I was scared I was going to do a disservice to my unborn child. Um, and yeah, he was just really great with offering words of encouragement and sort of reminding me that that's within you. It's
Mhm.
you summon it, and it's in there.
Yeah. Were you an uncle before this, or is this your first kind of
No,
baby? Yeah, yeah,
I mean, in this day and age, everybody calls their friends,
yeah.
kids, nephew, or that they have them call you uncle and stuff. So I've been called Uncle Marcus many times, and I feel very uncly to many kids in my life.
Yeah.
Um, but no, my brothers don't have any kids yet.
Yeah. Well, and how fun that you've played a dad several times on screen too. That has to be.
I keep telling people, I'm like, now I feel like I actually know how to interact with the child because
There
there
you
were so many
go.
times I'd be playing a dad and
Yeah.
I'd be so uncertain about how to like just like fraternize with the young person. And so I was like, and
Yeah.
now that I have a little boy, I'm like, I just
Yeah.
throw him around. I'm like, oh, he's just so, you
Yeah.
you become so much more comfortable.
Yeah, it'll be funny as he gets older if you go back and rewatch some of your performances if you're like, "Oh man, that
Oh
was
yeah.
that was
I mean, I
not
could say
dad
that
like."
about every performance I do, but dad or not.
No, oh, too fun. Well, you've had a lot going on work-wise, and of course, we want to talk about Sullivan's, but I want to talk about some of your other projects. You have the short film that is very clearly a passion project for you called Emergency. So you've gotten to talk about it a couple times, but tell people about it a little bit and how that came to be, what inspired it.
Yeah, well, my short film emergency, I wrote it 5 years ago, and I sort of sat on it as I was expanding my producing career because I was a little afraid to make it because it's a very autobiographical thing, and so growing up, my mom had me very young, and we went through some tough times, and it's largely about having been witness to some domestic abuse within my home, directed at my mother. And so it's about a boy who spends a night in an emergency room while his mother's getting treatment. And it's sort of semi-autobiographical with a fictionalized twist on it. And it's really about the reclamation of childhood innocence. And it's anchored by these two incredible performances. These two 8-year-olds, Huxley Fisher and Anoram Hadadzadeh, who was 7 at the time we shot it. And Anoram was just nominated for a Leo Award, and the film has been winning awards at film festivals. And yeah, it's just been the most cathartic art experience of my life.
Very cool. How did you find these talented little actors? They blew me
Yeah,
away. So good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, after producing so many films, I had a lot of casting connections, and so I was very intent on only wanting to make this project if I could find the right performers, because I wanted this boy to be a little bit of a surrogate for myself,
Hmm.
and so I wanted somebody that reminded me of myself at that age, and yeah, Huxley's tape dropped into my inbox one day, and I immediately knew that he was absolute perfect kid for the role. He was already in Edmonton, strangely, even though I'd done a national search for these kids. And
Oh,
then
okay.
Anoram Hadadze was out in Vancouver, so we flew her in alongside my acting coach, Andrew McElroy, who
Yeah.
really taught me how to act way back in the day. And I wanted to have this be a collaborative project for the two of us to work on. So the two of us coached up these kids over the course of a month over Zoom, and then brought them into Edmonton and shot over the course of 2 nights, and it was amazing.
Wow. And you directed, right? And
I
first
directed, yeah,
first
yeah.
foray into directing for you then?
First
Yeah.
foray into directing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to save my directorial debut or my budding directing career for something that really meant a lot to me. And
Mhm.
so yeah.
So do you see yourself doing it more then? Something you want to pursue?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
do think so. But I'm not chasing those opportunities right now. If they come to me, then great, but I'm not chasing them in the same way that I'm chasing writing, producing, acting. So
Yeah. And so you're still kind of doing the festival thing with that, right? Do you plan to take it to some more festivals or what's kind of the
yeah.
long-term goal with that one?
Yeah, just
Mhm.
as many festivals of decent reputation that we can get into, which we've been getting
Mhm.
into to our fair share, which has been nice. And then I think the next one is the CSA Canadian Screen Award nomination applicable film festival, the Regina Film Festival.
Okay.
So yeah, once we have a few Canadian Screen Award um, applicable festivals, then we can nominate ourselves for CSAs at the end of the year, which is sort of one of the next goals. And then
Hmm.
yeah, and then eventually, probably at the end of this year, we'll just throw it up on YouTube and let the
Okay.
masses see it if they like.
Yeah, that's good. I know I've had some people asking about how to see it. So I figured after the
That's nice.
festival circuit, we'd get that out there. That's exciting.
Yeah.
What's been kind of the response you've gotten like from family or from people in the industry to the film at the festivals?
Yeah.
How's the response
I think
been?
one of the reasons that I was a little apprehensive to make was because I wasn't sure how my family would react,
Yeah.
and so it was important to me to be careful and thoughtful about presenting it to them. So I flew back to Edmonton, I sat them down and had them watch it,
Yeah.
and it was an emotional evening for us, but they have been just so supportive, and it's opened up a lot of good conversations, and
Nice.
it's largely done a lot of what I wanted to do.
That's awesome. Yeah, it puts you in a very vulnerable position, but it as an audience and a viewer, those kinds of stories need to be told. And but yeah, it just helps us get to know you a little more. And I just appreciate that you really you can tell you put your heart into it. So it's a
Yeah.
special film for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
And, well, the other big one, the huge thing that we want to talk about is Sullivan's Crossing, which just hit Netflix, which is really exciting. Season 4. There was a lot of Liam, which was pretty cool. I mean, you had told me about getting the part, and then it was just like I didn't anticipate what a huge storyline this was for you, and it was just Really cool. Talk to us about, I think I've heard you tell the story one time about how you initially got the role. Because I think, did Morgan kind of, it was
Yeah, I
instrumental in
mean, the
that
story
or?
that I've gotten is that sort of my name was in the mix amongst others, and then Morgan helped push for me, as did my agent and people, and then Roma Roth, who created both Virgin River and Sullivan's Crossing. She had never heard of me, and then Morgan kind of yeah, advocated heavily for me, and helped facilitate it. So yeah, I owe her so much, and I tell her as many times as I can. I'm forever grateful for that nod. Yeah, I was actually in Morocco. Uh, yeah, they needed like this fake husband, not fake husband, ex-husband,
Yeah.
still husband. It's complicated. Watch the show. Um, and they needed this person to come in and do this like these two scenes real quick, and then if they got picked up for season four, they were going to spin it into what it became, which is sort of a season-long arc. Um, and so she texted me out of the blue and was like, "Are you available next week?" And I was like, "Well, Allie and I are going to Morocco. She's got a conference there." But Morocco to Halifax is actually on like a 5 hour flight. I think it's like the
Oh, wow.
two closest points in between Africa and Canada.
Oh,
So I
there you
literally
go.
flew in, shot, and flew back, and then 6 months later we shot season four, and it was lovely.
So during the trip, you had to just leave for a couple days and that's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. It
And
was
so
fun.
at the time then you weren't sure if there was going to be another season
Well,
or
I knew that they wanted another season, but I mean,
yeah.
every almost every TV show that's on the air is uncertain if they're going to get another season, and so there's always that in between seasons time where everybody's waiting to get picked up and waiting to see if
Yeah.
they still have jobs. So,
Hmm.
um, so I've just learned not to put a lot of stock in any guarantees because nobody actually really knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say too, I should put a little caveat here for anybody who is just starting to watch it. We will be talking about spoilers, so pause here and fast forward if you don't want to hear spoilers. But so going into it, I mean, how did you sort of prepare yourself for here you are in a love triangle situation again? So knowing this was going to have a very strong fan reaction, I mean,
Yeah,
how does one prepare for that? You really
I mean,
can.
I was telling Chad Morgan, I was like, I've kind of been here before in this
Yeah.
Hallmark show. I was this third wheel guy before, and they did not care for it over there. So we'll see how it goes over here. But yeah, I
Who,
keep
us?
finding
What?
myself falling into this like home wrecker position. No, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It was just fun. I
Yeah.
didn't take it too serious, and I had a good time with it.
And probably while you're in the work, you're not, that piece of it is kind of out of your mind. It's
No,
more when it airs that you get the more of the strong.
even when it airs, you're kind of
Yeah.
like, because I mean, yeah, like the work is honestly, sometimes I don't even watch things that I make because I just like
Mhm.
doing, I mean, most actors that I know of any, success level, really, their joy and their focus and their love is the work. And so I had just the most wonderful time in Halifax last year, and I was excited when this aired, but it wasn't as exciting as actually just doing the work.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I don't know. The receptions, there's people that love things, there's people that don't like things, and that's, yeah, it's so out of my control, but the work is in
Yeah.
my control. So,
Yeah. And you had worked with Morgan before, so you'd done a movie together on Hallmark Channel. Had you known her before that even? Or
no,
was
no, we
no,
met
okay.
we met on Love on Harbor Island, which we shot in 2019, I think.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we met on that, and then she went on to do When Hope Calls, and I went on to start producing and do other things like Ride. Um, and we hadn't spoken. I mean, you meet these people, and then you sort of like are friends with them via social media. And so
Yeah.
and we had seen each other a couple times over the years, And we're just kind of mutual supporters. And I think that there's like a shared sense of respect there.
Hmm.
And she lives near us in Toronto, and so we're both Torontonians. And oh, they
Nice.
had she had this she has this wonderful dog that we had babysat at least twice, I think. And so yeah, we've just stayed friends.
Nice. And that probably helps, I mean, coming into a show like that where they're kind of an established cast and all have previous relationships um and the fact that the two characters had this history, that kind of seems like that would help a bit that you guys actually know each other and have history a little bit as far as building chemistry or
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. I mean, I think that with the rate that TV moves now, just in terms of the pace, it can be a little tough to guarantee chemistry
Yeah.
because you hire people and you throw them together and you hope for the best, but it is hard to predict if there's going to be chemistry. And so if you can hire somebody that has worked with somebody before, then there's already going to be all that feeling out process is going to be gone. And so, yeah, I think that definitely helped. I think it helped the on-screen product this last season.
Yeah, I think I've told a couple people, a lot of my friends watch Sullivan's, and so I was so excited when you were joining the cast um and I told a lot of people like I felt like Liam and is it Maggie, right?
Hmm.
Um that love story alone, if you had if Cal, and Maggie had not existed, was an epic love story in and of itself. And like I get, being on the Jack and Elizabeth side of When Calls the Heart back in the day, I get why people were upset. I totally do. But I thought that just the way you guys portrayed that love story was it was an epic love story. It didn't end well at the end of the season, but it was pretty epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have these periods of their life where it's like
Yeah.
they what's the best way to put it? They had the simplicity of falling in love with one version of somebody, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
especially when you're young, you have less depth, and so you really you have the benefit of only having to fall in love with somebody's couple surface levels without really
Yeah.
all the complexities that come along with a real relationship. And so I think that's what
Hmm.
we were after with this storyline. I mean, if you meet somebody in Spain when you're young and you're
Right.
like both of your
Yeah.
lives are up in the air, it's like it's going to be a
Yeah.
whirlwind. And that
Yeah.
I think that's what that storyline was all about.
Yeah, it was all about the passion and the love, and it didn't have any of the real world. Until he left, there wasn't really any of the real world problems
Yeah.
that were
Yeah. And
interfering with them. Yeah.
That's what Cal and Maggie have is their
Yes.
real life.
Yeah. So for you as an actor, I mean, this really dove into some heavy dramatic. I mean, could you tell immediately that this was going to be challenging? Was there something that really challenged you that you just loved working through as an actor in the process?
Yeah, I mean this was definitely some content that I haven't had a lot of opportunities in bigger shows to
Hmm.
tackle.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was kind of like, oh, finally I get the chance to sort of show this side of what I can do, I guess, and
Hmm.
tap into some of these deeper emotions that are a little more rare in a lot of the content that I've made a name for myself in. Um, and so when I saw it, I was mostly excited and a little scared, I would say, because I think that, it's very natural to like see something on the page that's like they're both bawling and then they kiss. And it's like, oh man, how the hell am I going to do that? Like, how am I going to make
How do
that
I
a
get there?
believable arc? Um, and so it's intimidating, but it's also like why you wake up in the morning to try to do challenging work, whether it's on camera or off. So.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think I messaged you a couple times where just because they would show the clips on social after, and just you definitely rose to the challenge. And there were some scenes where I was just like, "Damn, Marcus!" Like, just
But
really, yeah.
you're also across like a heavyweight emotional actor in Morgan Cohan, who is like
Yes. Oh
one of the
goodness.
best in the game because
Yeah.
she has to do it so frequently on this specific show.
Yeah.
And so you're like, it's not going to be a problem for her. I know that. So if there's going to be a weak link, it's going to be this guy.
Yeah.
So
I feel like one of the channels, I don't know if it was CTV or CW, did like a montage of all the times she cried in the season.
yeah,
And I think this year it was quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. My
She's
wife and I, we were catching up on the episodes before I shot it, and we're like, "What is this? Sullivan's crying?" It's like everybody, literally every character cries. Chad cries beautifully in one of the episodes, one of my favorite episodes.
Yes.
Chad cries
Yeah.
beautifully, but literally every character has
Yeah.
to cry. And so I was like, I don't see how I'm gonna have to cry. But then, sure enough, I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
there they are. Yeah, that's you were tortured. I'm like, okay, all right,
Oh,
here we
yes.
go.
Yeah, because that came a little later in the script. So yeah. Do
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
that
Did
out of the gate, or did it come partway through while you're
After we wrapped just those two quick ep scenes in season three and the big break between season three and season four, I had
Mhm.
written an email to Roma, sort of making some light suggestions, just because I know they hadn't fleshed out this character entirely yet, and I was like, this is what would be interesting to me as somebody who really values the job that war correspondents do. Um, and I honestly can't even remember what my specific suggestions were. So I don't want to like take credit for anything that was put on screen, but I know that I generally had an idea about the fact that it was out of his power to disappear. How, I don't think I knew until closer to shooting season four.
Mm. Interesting. So, talk to me about the cast because you got to do a lot of great scenes with Tom Jackson, who I
Yeah.
loved. I love the way they built that friendship. How was that working with him?
Tom, the days I spent with Tom will be days I cherish for the rest of my career. I just love the Aboriginal sense of calm and peace and like serenity and one with nature. And Tom Jackson is like the living embodiment of that.
Mm,
And it's like a wisdom that I aspire to one day. And he just from the moment you walk on set with him and he literally embraces you because you'll shake his hand and he'll bring you in and he'll hold you for a second so that your like energies align. And at first
mm.
you're kind of like, what's happening? And then after the moment, your ego lets go and
Yeah.
you just accept it and you meet him at his level where you actually wanted to be the whole time anyway. And it's just, yeah,
Wow.
he's a marvel of a man.
Yeah.
And I really valued our time together.
Nice. And then how was it working with Chad overall? Yeah.
Chad's amazing. I
Hmm.
mean, he's like, I think, I mean, you can say so much about the guy. He was like a proper movie star when I was growing up. So there's that
Yeah.
whole like
Yeah.
star factor. But I mean, the now as like an aging man myself, I mean, not that old, but I'm getting up there. Seeing somebody like Chad set the example with three kids, a wife, a solid home. He lives in his hometown of Buffalo,
Mhm.
and he takes his whole family wherever he goes. It's like
Mhm.
a template. I'm like, that's how you're supposed to do this, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
I worked with so many actors who have to leave their kids behind, and I'm sure their scenarios are different, the circumstances are different. Perhaps they don't have the same resources, but Chad's doing it in a way that I think is the only tenable way for someone like myself. Like I would never want to have any success at the expense of my family. Um, and seeing him do it makes me see that it can be done.
Hmm. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Have you gotten to shoot anything since you've been a father? Have you been?
I have, yeah.
I, I
I shot a couple things.
I
Yeah.
was curious if it changes. I'm big into like the Hollywood roundtables and the actor on actors. I just eat that stuff up. It's so interesting. And some of them were talking about how having children really helps you reset easier, like coming in and out of the
Mm,
character from. Have you noticed any
mm.
differences in you in the way you are on set since becoming a father?
That's really interesting. I haven't,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've specifically tracked that. I
Hmm.
know exactly what you're referring to.
Hmm.
I haven't had. um, deeply challenging work on the emotional side
Right.
yet. You know, I've done a
Yeah.
few projects, but they've been just sort of fun and light.
Yeah.
Um, and so I noticed that at the end of the day, I can't wait to get home.
Yeah.
Whereas prior, if Allie wasn't in the same city that I was shooting, then leaving set was kind of a bummer because set was so fun and is going to be the funnest
Right.
part of my day.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I feel like for me so far, having a kid just rounds out the whole life. It rounds out the day. You know, there's not,
Hmm.
it's like my baseline is my home with my family, which is so fulfilling. And then the
Hmm.
stuff I do in the middle of the day is also fulfilling. And so now I just feel like
Yeah.
a fuller person, I guess.
Yeah. 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 That's cool. I always find that stuff interesting, how it, behind the scenes, how it affects or changes performances. But and back to the cast, I gotta mention it. I don't know that you had many scenes with him, but I nerded out as a girl who grew up in the 80s that you guys had Jonathan Silverman on the cast. Did you? I don't think, did you have any scenes with him? Maybe a
I don't know
couple?
if John and I
Yeah.
had any scenes, but we were on set at the same time a few times, and I met
Okay.
John and had
Yeah.
some conversations with him.
Yeah.
And I will say that when I met John, I didn't um, have a full understanding of who what his career had been.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then when somebody told me he was in Weekend at Bernie's,
Yeah. Yeah.
Allie and I love Weekend at Bernie's. We watched it at this cabin one time when we were up in Muskoka, and we just
Yeah.
fell in love with this movie.
Yes.
And so seeing that,
Mhm.
yeah, I suddenly was like starstruck. I was like, oh my God, Weekend at
Yeah.
Bernie's.
Well, and I didn't know ahead of time that he was going to be on the show. I guess I had missed that casting announcement or something. So I was just like, oh my gosh, no way. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then talk to us about Halifax. I loved seeing some of your behind the scenes. It looked like you really loved it up there. How was that?
Yeah, Halifax is like, I think I said at the time, it's like a perfect Canadian city. There's a
Yeah.
lot of Canadian cities that feel like they don't have a lot of identity. And I love Canada, and Canada
Mm-hmm.
itself has a great identity, but there's a lot of cities that sort of they don't have like that thing. And Halifax is like fishing, and it's like beautiful coastline, and it's like a college town, and it's got a proper downtown with great restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
but it also is like walkable, and it's such a great. I mean, cruise ships land there, so that tells you a lot about a town. It's like it's worth visiting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it feels familial. The people reminded me of Albertans, and Albertans are my
Mm.
favorite people because I'm
Yeah.
Albertan.
Yeah.
And so they feel like down home, hardworking, good, honest folks, but with like a fishing culture, whereas back home it's like cattle and oil. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and you feel that in the crew, like the crew folk that you get to work with in Halifax, they feel like blue collar folks. And so I found it very easy to connect and be comfortable in that environment.
So overall, since because you did Ride, so you've done a couple series, but this was kind of I feel like, was it the first time where you did an entire season? What was sort of like a big takeaway for you as an actor coming out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly had the opportunity to do a similar thing on like When Calls the Heart or
Hmm.
Unreal, things
Oh
like
yes,
that.
yeah,
This
yeah,
was probably one of the, it was one of the first times I was out front on like, the marketing and the poster and all
yeah,
that stuff. But then again,
yeah.
Ride was kind of like that too.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah, it was a significant part on a series that was just already very popular, especially here in Canada. It's, before Heat and Rivalry came along, I think it was the biggest
Yeah.
Canadian produced series at the time. And now it's
Mhm.
on Netflix and is like on number three or something the last time I checked in the US.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I knew I was joining like something that already had momentum and something that was going to be a little more weighty in terms of the performances.
Hmm.
Um, and it was, yeah, I had such a good year last year shooting this thing. So yeah.
Hmm. That's awesome. Well, we loved seeing it, and I wanted to do a little plug here because I saw that Roma Roth is creating a third series. So, Liam might be available. Marcus might be available. So I'll just put that plug in right there, if you're looking for somebody.
That's hey, from your word, from your mouth.
But she does really great work. So yeah, that would be fun.
She's
Yeah.
she is yeah, she is very she's kind of a genius at what she does in terms of this romantic space. She clearly has a vision for it, clearly has an eye for it. I mean, you don't stumble into two hit TV series in this day and age. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a lot of respect for her.
And in the streaming space and but because Virgin River went started right on Netflix, didn't it? That's solely Netflix.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's a
yeah.
Netflix original, I believe. And I
Yeah.
think famously, Ted Sarandos' wife has declared it her favorite show. So it's like,
Oh, there you
I
go.
mean,
Not
yeah.
not too bad. Yeah. Well, and then we're in the heart of, well, not the heart, just kicked off Christmas in July. And we're so excited to see you back on the Christmas in July schedule with Snowbound. I make sure I get it right. Snowbound for the Holidays with
Yeah.
Vanessa. That's not a Northern Gateway, right? Was that produced by someone else?
No,
Okay.
no, that this is Vortex Productions here in
Oh, yes.
Toronto.
Okay.
We shot it in Northern Ontario a while ago. We shot it in February of 25, so February of last
Oh,
year. So it's been,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, in a normal movie, that's not in a long time, but for an MOW, that is a bit of a wait.
Yeah.
Christopher Giroux, I should shout out. This is his directorial debut.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, and then Vanessa Lenges has become a good friend. She just had a baby as well,
Oh,
and so
oh, nice.
yeah, yeah, and she was pregnant while we were shooting this film, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, she was somebody who like I recognized from watching stuff when I was younger too, because in
Mm-hmm.
Canadian television there was a thing called YTV. It was a channel that we had, and I think she was on a couple shows on that, and then she was in this movie that I loved when I was a teenager called Waiting with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and Justin Long is in that too.
Oh,
And
yes. Yeah.
Vanessa's like one of the main characters. So I've just found her funny, hilarious, they're hilarious for a long time. And she
Mhm.
when we were working together, she didn't show me. I think I looked it up or something. It was a clip of her on Glee
Oh,
playing some character, and I was dying. It was
yeah.
so legitimately funny. And so yeah, she's just so fun. She's just like a great energy, and she's
Yeah.
become a friend. So
Nice. Yeah, super talented. She had a sneaky hit one year. It was on Hallmark that was one of those movies that wasn't, I feel like it premiered in Christmas in July, wasn't really heavily promoted, and I just fell in love with it, where it was kind of a time jump one. Or no, she had a different life, two separate lives, and they filmed.
she
Oh, it was
was
so
just
good.
telling me something
So
was
good.
Christopher Giroux, who directed our film, produced
Hmm.
that film with Vortex Productions,
Hmm.
and I think Corey Sevier directed it, maybe, or stars in it, or
Oh,
did
okay.
both,
Yeah.
and he was telling me while we were shooting this movie about that movie, and he
Yeah.
described a scene to me at the end where she has to like have this phone call with her mother, knowing that she's
Yes.
not going to see her again or something like that. And like I was
Yes.
tearing up just the
Oh
description of
yeah.
this scene. It
Yes.
sounded amazing, and yeah,
Yeah.
so I know what you're talking about.
It's honestly probably top five Hallmark Christmas movies for me. It's just so
It's
good.
amazing.
So good. Yeah. And I also was a fan of hers from American Dreams back in the day. That's an old, that might have been 90s it premiered. Not
I've
sure.
heard the name. I
Yeah.
didn't see that one,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've heard the
Yeah.
name.
A good one. So you play Trey. So tell us about Trey. What's he like?
So I play a gentleman who runs and operates a ski resort, and Skywalker Hughes plays my daughter. She's about to be in Little House on the Prairie. I think
Mm,
literally she has a giant billboard on the side of Netflix Studios right now. Um,
amazing. Wow.
yeah, this show looks incredible. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this series, but it
Yeah.
looks awesome. And
Yeah.
Skywalker's one of the main characters.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, look for that one. And then Vanessa plays business type that comes in and she wants to change everything, and we did the whole song and dance.
And that one is July 18th for everybody. Make sure you save the date at
Yeah.
8, 7 Central. Yeah, you're becoming kind of a Christmas in July staple, I think. You,
I know,
you've
I
done a
know.
couple.
Yeah.
It's July. Where's Marcus? All right, that's good. And then you're still part of Northern Gateway Productions, right? What's
Yeah.
going on there these days? Anything exciting?
Yeah, we're gearing up for something big that we've been gearing up for a long time. And literally, as we sit here, there's active conversations going on in terms of casting. So hopefully we'll have some news to announce sooner than later. Um, Hoping to go to camera on that quite soon. But yeah, we're in the casting phase and hopefully we'll have some exciting news very soon.
Very cool. So make sure you're following that page, guys. It's at Northern, is it Productions
It's
or
like northern dot gateway dot
Gateway?
films. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll follow that to keep up to date. And then it's been a while since we've caught up. So I never heard about your Christmas con experience. This is going way back. This was last December. I was supposed to fly out and my flight got canceled that morning of the event. I was so
Uh,
bummed. But yeah, how was it for you? I always think of the introverts at those things because I can imagine you're exhausted after 3 days of
yeah, it was not nearly as difficult for me as I thought it was going to be.
Oh,
It,
nice.
it's tiring, but
Hmm.
I don't know, I find it easy to connect with people one on one. As
Hmm.
like, groups are a little more difficult, and so I thought it was going to be more of the group feel. But
Hmm.
really, when you're dealing with one person after the next, you can take a moment and connect with them one on one, and then it becomes pretty organic, I found. Like just sort of, where are you from? And what do you think about stuff? Here's what I think
Yeah,
about stuff.
yeah.
And so that stuff's never hard for me, like having a conversation. Um,
Hmm.
but I just didn't know how it would feel with like the rush and the chaos and all
Yeah,
that. Because you want to give people the best of yourself and you want to give them adequate
yeah.
time. It's when it feels transactional that I feel like I'm having an allergic reaction. And um,
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
while it is a transactional thing, didn't
Hmm.
didn't feel that way because I really tried to take the time and give everybody a
Hmm.
real conversation.
That's good. Yeah, and as somebody who's attended many of those, you can tell the difference. Like somebody going up to a table can tell.
Yeah,
I went to a 90s con and like some of the boy band guys who were very lovely, but have been doing it since they were kids. You could tell would kind of get this like glazed over kind of. They were very
yeah,
sweet and kind, but you could just tell they've been doing it a long time. So
yeah.
for the most part, Christmas con and a lot of the Hallmark family is, I've noticed you guys all take the time to really, genuinely connect with your fans, which is good. Yeah.
That's good. It's good to hear if everybody else is doing that too, or most other people
Mm-hmm.
are
Hmm.
doing that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Chad gave me some good advice. I actually asked to be stationed next to him, so
Oh,
I was like, look,
nice. Yeah.
if nobody's at my table, then I'll come bug you. Luckily, I was busy the whole time,
Oh, nice.
and
Yeah.
he was very naive with me because he would have had no time. He has no time with these
Yes.
things. It was very
Yeah.
clear. But yeah, no, he gave me a lot of really good advice on how to stay present and just
Yeah.
make sure that the fans are getting the most out of it.
Yeah. Did you do a panel too while you were there?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
did a panel with Brittany Bristow
Oh,
and
nice.
Jane
Yeah.
Seymour and Will Kemp. We did a
Yeah.
panel.
I love
Yeah,
that you're up there with Jane Seymour. That's amazing.
I know, it was so
No
random.
big, no big
I
deal.
was like, they were like, you're going up there with Jane Seymour. And I just didn't, by name, I didn't know Jane. And then
Hmm.
I met her and immediately in my head, I was like, oh my God, this is Kitty from Wedding Crashers. And
That's funny
I was
that that's
like,
the role you go to.
yeah,
That's so funny.
that was my
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
And so then when we were on the panel, somebody in the crowd asked her about Wedding Crashers, and I was like, oh, thank God. Yes, okay, it's not just me.
Was there any like other actors that were there that you got to connect with that you hadn't before? Like, hey, we should work
Yeah,
together
lots.
or, yeah.
Um, who did I meet for the first time? I saw Penny again. I love whenever I see Penny. We
Oh
played
yeah.
brothers for like
Yes.
3 straight summers in the 2010s out in the vineyards, and so
Yeah.
whenever I see Penny, it feels like seeing my bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw lots of people. I mean, I met God, all the names flood out of your head. I hadn't seen Jessie Schramm in a long time, so I saw her.
Okay. Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
and I did a movie get together back in the day. I
Yes,
hadn't
I
seen
can.
Rachel Lee Cook in a long time, so I got to catch
Nice.
up with her a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Was
Kimberly
Autumn Reed?
Sustad, who I had like
Oh,
acting classes with way back in the day.
no
And
kidding.
yeah,
Oh, cool. That
Andrew
would be a
Walker,
good.
hadn't seen him in a long time.
Yeah.
And we did a movie together back in the day. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was,
Daniel was there with the original
yeah, I
OG
talked to
OG
Daniel.
Love Triangle.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan and I chatted. Dan's got like he's been married. We've both been married since we saw each
Yeah.
other. Like, I mean, it
Yeah.
feels like another lifetime ago, but yeah, we were
Yeah.
catching up and talking about When Calls the Heart and
Yeah.
where our lives have taken us and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you've got friends. Speaking of Win Calls, I saw Chris just had another baby. You're good friends with Chris McNally, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was just
Yeah.
texting Chris a few days ago.
Yeah.
We don't talk that frequently anymore,
Hmm.
but we coincidentally were.
Yeah.
He lives in Vancouver. He's got a family. I live in Toronto. I got
Yeah.
my family now, but we were coincidentally just messaging last week. We have a
Hmm.
buddy's wedding that I think we're going to see each other at this summer.
Oh, nice.
And he was congratulating me on my
Mhm.
boy, and I was congratulating him on his second
Yeah.
child. And
Yeah.
it's funny the way life goes. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
remember Chris and I. We would like. I mean, we would stay in like the cheapest motel rooms together, like when we went to LA, and we would like road trip down from Vancouver all the way. And
Yeah.
yeah, he helped me with so many audition tapes, and I would sit at his bar when I had nothing to do on like a Friday night. And
That's
yeah,
funny. Yeah.
Chris is a beauty.
You haven't shot much in Vancouver in a while, have you? Have you been out to
No,
Vancouver? Yeah.
I think 2 years ago was the last time I worked in Vancouver, probably.
Okay.
Um, I
Hmm.
think it was the Ashley Williams movie that I did, Luke McFarlane, Notes of Autumn, I
Oh
think it was
yeah.
called.
Well, I like that one.
Um, yeah, I like that one too. I think it
Mhm.
was the last time I was out there working anyway. But no,
Oh,
I want to get back there. I would love to get back and work in
yeah.
Vancouver.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know actors hate this last question, but is there anything coming up? What's next?
Yeah, I
Anything
mean,
coming that you can tease at all or?
um, we've got Snowbound for the holidays on
Hmm.
July 18th. We are
Yeah.
sort of in pre-production on a bigger feature with the company right now with Northern Gateway Films. Um, Short film Emergency is next going to be at the Regina International Film Festival. Sullivan's Crossing just dropped on Netflix in the
Yeah.
States, so
Yeah.
check that out.
Hmm.
Um, and then there's a couple movies in the can, and I'm dicking around on social media right now with these Alberta videos that I'm loving. So
Yes. So fun. So fun. Oh my gosh. We need you in a comedy like ASAP. That's so good.
I want to
Yeah.
do comedy. This is
Yeah.
like I get so few opportunities to do comedy, and I was like, I can do comedy. Like yeah, I like writing these things. I like performing
Yeah.
them, and yeah, so I had reached out to Drew, and we came up with this concept, and
I was
they
gonna
seem to be
say,
hitting.
so that was you that reached out. So you kind of had the,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I did the initial reach out because he
Mm,
had already sort of made this voice for himself in the Alberta accent. He does these like, what if Marvel had an Alberta accent? What if,
yeah.
Tolkien had an Alberta accent? What if Power Rangers had an Alberta accent? And he's just got the accent like dialed in. And I've tried for years to describe to people I would meet in like
Right.
Vancouver and Toronto and LA what the
Yeah.
Alberta accent sounded like. And now it's just like he's got it so perfectly dialed in. And that's sort of the angle on his whole comedy. He's a comedian. And I was like, dude, I'm from Alberta too, and I love this. This is awesome. And I was literally sitting on my couch having a beer, and we were like DMing each other. And he's like, we should collab. And I was like, yeah, okay. What's the angle? And so Alberta separatism has been in the news a lot lately back home. And so this is a concept that we sort of dreamed up together, and we're just having so much fun with it. They're so fun just to riff off, and the
Yeah.
social media stuff, the stakes are so low. Like you just
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I always enjoy that you guys go off on each other and then go, love ya, bye. Like,
Yeah, I know.
it's so
Yeah. Well, I was like,
good.
let's curate like two characters. Like, let's
Yeah.
really, because yeah. So
You're gonna run out of suits though, is what I keep when I saw the three.
you don't know how many suits I have.
He's like, you don't know me at all.
You know how many
Too good.
Hallmark movies I've done? I've kept so
Oh,
many
good point.
suits.
There you go. There you go. And like I said, I am, and I'm sure other viewers are learning so much about Alberta. So, especially in the
I
comment
love
section.
how crazy different it is between like I was telling him, I was like, oh wait, the Sullivan's Crossing, the show that I'm on, just dropped on Netflix. Like
Yeah.
those fans coming into this are gonna have
Yeah.
no effing idea what to do with this business. And
Like, what is happening? Oh,
yeah, and
so
meanwhile his audience is like all men and mine's
good.
basically
Okay.
all women.
Yeah.
And so we're like, this is gonna be a mashing of cultures.
That's amazing. So the comment section can be equally as entertaining as the
It's
content.
so entertaining. It's so
Oh,
entertaining.
oh,
Yeah.
too good, too good.
I saw one
Well,
comment that was like,
sure.
is this the husband from Sullivan's Crossing? My wife and I were
Sure
killing
is,
ourselves.
sure is.
Yep.
Oh, too good, too good.
Uh,
Well, always good catching up with you, and thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to tune in for Snowbound for the holidays, July 18th. We will be there, and then catch up on Sullivan's if you haven't. If you're not, what are you doing? Get over there and watch it ASAP. Thanks, Marcus. Always good seeing you, and thanks everybody for
thank you.
watching.